Welcome back. U.S. small business sentiment, it rose in July, though owners were becoming increasingly uncertain about the economic outlook and many worried about the quality of labor available. Well, so there's always something to worry about, right? The National Federation of Independent Businesses said on Tuesday its small business optimism index rebounded 1.7 points to a 100.3 reading last month, with some viewing business conditions as better and reporting that it's a good time to expand. And those are some pretty good numbers, right? Above 100 is decent. This was a very widely followed data point a while back, at least when I first started getting in business. And for some reason, it's kind of fallen off the front pages. But it's a good idea about how people are feeling. Here's the bad news, though. The survey's uncertainty index, that jumped 8 points to 97, which the NFIB said was clouding decisions about hiring, pricing, investment in plant and equipment. So my question is, what is it? Are small business owners optimistically uncertain? That's what it sounds like to me. My next guest will have something to say. Maybe he can straighten it all out for us. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Scott Bauer. He's the CEO and founder of Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, thanks for coming on. Are they uncertainly optimistic or whatever I said there? I mean, what's up with this?
Right. That's like saying pessimistically optimistic, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's actually a good sign, because I know small business optimism has been not so great. There's been all these fears about recession, about the tariffs. So it's good that they're getting optimistic. However, there's some concern, and there should be some concern, Scott. I mean, I own a small business as well. I'm certainly concerned about what tariffs might do to the economy. It hasn't necessarily played out yet, and a lot of people, depending on which side of the aisle you're on, are saying, okay, it's gloom and doom on one side. The other side's saying, see, there's no effect. It's going to be somewhere in the middle here. I certainly think, my own personal belief is that towards the back end of the year, we are going to see some effect from that, which could affect you, me, and all consumers, and maybe affect their spending. So I am in the camp of what I see today. Things are pretty good right now. Things are pretty good, but I have to be concerned. As a small business owner, I think regardless of the climate we're in, you always have to be concerned. Now I think it's heightened a little bit more because labor market's a little bit different right now, and because of the tariffs.
This might be a crazy way to look at it, but last year was the last part of the Biden administration. 2025 is going to call it the changeover, or the brackish water, half seawater, half freshwater. And then 2026 is when maybe some of these changes that they're putting in place this year actually start to come to fruition. So I look at this year as kind of this morphing into what the new administration wants the economy to look like. And when that happens, I feel like there's always some bumps and things don't fit right all the time. And you're trying to kind of put your flag in the ground of what you think that should be going on. And there's always a transition period. And 2025 feels like, to me, economically speaking, it's a transition period for the Trump administration going forward.
I'm hoping it's a transition. I think we all want a transition. What we don't want is to see, okay, things are really good right now. I'm not even going to say pretty good. Things are, really good right now, probably a lot better than many people expected. We don't want to see, okay, whether it's the back half of the year or going into 26, whatever it is, things start to get rotten. Things start to fall off the table a little bit. So I would take this being as a transition year and the little bumps in the road, which happen all the time, I would take that any day of the week. The bottom line is the tariff situation, though maybe we aren't seeing the effects yet, I do believe we're going to see that coming into the back half. Hopefully it's not as bad as anyone had initially expected. And if we can absorb it and we can kind of keep the status quo, I don't know anybody that wouldn't kind of want the status quo economically. Yes, I know that there are people that are suffering out there. There are people trying to make ends meet. We always have that, right? It's never rosy for everyone. So those are the people that really need the help. But I think overall, if we are in this transition period, it's probably going pretty smoothly.
Then I feel like you're thinking that maybe we do have a risk of tariff inflation in the back.
I do.
Okay, so are you in a rate cut camp then, or no?
That's a double-edged sword as well. I don't think we need it, honestly. And people are going to say, "What do you mean he should have cut? Blah blah blah. We should be 1 point lower, 2 points lower." No, we are seeing inflation still tick up. We saw it this morning. Now the market reacted really, really positively because I think the market said, "Oh, it's not worse than what was expected." But what was expected with the CPI print this morning was a tick higher. I know something that concerns me, and I don't, watch every commentary and every estimate that's out there. Yesterday, Goldman Sachs put out there that by the end of the year, they see core year-over-year CPI being at 3.2%. And if it weren't for the tariff situation, it would be at 2.5. So I've got to be concerned. I absolutely have to be concerned. And hopefully it's not as bad as, me or some other people might think it might be.
And then lastly, we talk about this too. I want to get your point of view on it, but are there any deflationary benefits from the productivity of AI and the things that are happening on the other side of the ledger that we might be benefiting from, that might be taking a little bit of that tariff inflation wind out of the sails?
Sure, but when we get into the deflationary cycle, okay, if you will, and that doesn't mean that we still don't have inflation. It just means it's, a little bit lower. That could help. That could definitely help the Fed. That could help rates move lower a little bit. But I think we have to be really cautious, Scott, and really kind of think about what we're wishing for. Because if we start to get in an easing cycle here, why is that happening? Well, it's happening maybe because the economy is slowing down too much, which there's got to be a balance. Maybe that's not a great thing.
Well, that's when we say be careful what you wish for, right? Because you might get your rate cuts, but for all the wrong reasons that you wanted initially. So great to get your point of view on that. I'm going to put a yellow sticky note on Scott's point of view there. Thank you very much for coming on. Can't wait to hear what you have to say next week. Great content as usual.